I don't think you know much about yarn.
Yeah,
but,
I have no idea about it. What am I even doing here? This is a tea show. Hello everyone, today I am joined by Carla Scott, Editor-in-Chief of Vogue Knitting. We all know Vogue Knitting, and if you do not know Vogue Knitting, come out from under the rock. So today we're talking about like top trends that we're seeing, and there are a lot. There are a lot. Even if they're not like the top trends, they're just trends.
There are so many trends, and I picked 5 of my top favorite trends that we are working on. And you know, yes, they're constantly changing, but there are certain trends that just keep on going.
Right.
And I'm going to talk about some of those that seem to transition into the next season.
So one of the, someone in the yarn industry actually pops into my head when I think about this, was neon colors.
Ah, yes. Yes, I remember the neon colors, the 80s and the bright colors. And you know, living in New York City, as I do, I usually wear black, gray, as I'm wearing now, but you put your pop of color on.
There it is.
I should have done that myself. I don't have too many colors,
I think loud enough for both of us.
Being in the industry for so long, things have changed in yarn and colors, and now there are so many amazing, amazing neon bright colors that are just so wearable, and people say, I can't wear that, and I take sweaters on trunk shows and I say, try it on, and they put it on like, wow, I love this. I'm going to start wearing this.
You don't even have to start with a sweater. You can start with like just like an accessory.
Absolutely.
Like, cause like I happen to be like, I always have a black coat in the winter, so it's kind of boring. Like I always like to have a pop of like a cowl, you know, and so having that like hot pink hat or hot, you know, that's like a nice way to ease your way in to the colors.
Yes, and I would say try it. Even if you think maybe you don't want to, just buy 2 skeins.
Yeah.
Knit up a hat, you know, see how it looks.
Yeah, I'm into that.
Okay.
So what would be the next trend that you
Well, there's something called statement sleeves.
Okay.
And that is all about the sleeve. So the body of the sweater is pretty normal, but then you have big puffy sleeves at the top, bell sleeves, puffy above the cuff. And I think of that Seinfeld-ish, that Seinfeld show. Do you remember that?
With
the
cherries
puffy, well, the puffy sleeve shirts.
Yeah.
So he was on the Johnny Carson show, and he had to wear this white shirt with these big puffy sleeves, and that's what is really in right now.
But do you find that like trends that were hot then come back now? Like, do you
Absolutely.
think that everything kind of has a rebirth status?
Yes, it seems to have like a 20-year
like
resurgence.
in between.
Yeah.
Yes, because like
absolutely.
I remember when like camo hats that's coming too. That's not one of our trends, but I just remember like that camo was hot everywhere, and now that was like 20 years ago, and now it's coming back.
It is coming back. It is.
So it's almost like if and when these things go out of style,
don't throw them away.
Don't do it.
Don't throw them away. Keep it. Absolutely.
Because in 20 years, you're going to be ahead of the game. You're just going to pop on that hat,
and they're like, "Wow, where'd you get that?" Yeah.
So, what would be the next trend that you'd want to touch on?
Let's talk about embellishments.
I feel like that never goes away.
I think it never does go away. However, you look at the runway shows in New York. So there's fringe, but now there's really long fringe.
Oh yeah,
lots of it. And pom poms and big pom poms and embroidery, even embroidery on knits. Or crochet is really, really hot. But embroidery is.
I was actually on the subway the other night, and then like my eye just like, it was like a magnet. I saw like yarn in the corner of my eye, and it was this woman's bag. The actual bag was very small, but like the fringe on the bag was like out of control.
Yes, and that's where you can take a design of, you know, kind of simple design that you have in your closet, and you want to make it updated. You know, you can do it around the yoke, just hang fringe around there, around the sleeve, along the bottom, add pom-poms, add tassels. All that.
What would be the next trend?
Capes and wraps. So I think that wraps have always been around, but capes are really big.
If you're into shawls, like you can just make it super big, and also just like that cape vibe is always fun. And you can do that. You can like layer that with a bunch of stuff too.
Absolutely. And the other thing that's really nice about wraps is great for first projects. That way you can learn how to work with a lot of fabric, a big fabric, and not worry so much about the fit until, you know, you get into a sweater.
And also something like that I always think about is a really good opportunity to take like almost do it in blocks in a way, kind of cool. Like, so you do
like
maybe
a patchwork kind of thing,
like,
and practice all your stitches.
Exactly.
Yes,
so then it's not
yes.
like you're knitting or crocheting for days. You're kind of like switching it up as you go.
Right. Or we had a really lovely wrap in the cover of our early fall issue, and it was in a self-striping yarn.
Yes.
So that,
well,
you know,
I mean, I didn't even get into that. I was just talking basics. But
you can take a really, really cool yarn and make a beautiful piece, and it's all about the yarn. So the next trend, which I really love, are yokes. The yoke sweaters. Remember the Lopi sweaters?
Yep.
Those Lopi sweaters, Lopi yarn, amazing. It's all about the yoke.
It was everywhere at Rhinebeck. Everywhere I turned.
And you know, the big thing now is working them top down.
Everybody loves it.
Have you knit a top down sweater?
No, I haven't.
I have not either.
Okay. Oh my God, I feel so much better about that conversation.
I have not either. I write instructions. I'm also a technical person, so I always do it from the bottom up. And when I get a pattern that's top down, I should be able to just say, oh, you just go backwards. It's not the same. So I really need to, I do it, but I can't get my head around it.
But now I have some questions. Let's dissect
Okay, well,
this.
let me see if I can answer them. I hope.
But wouldn't one want to do a top down over traditionally going bottom to top, because then you can try it on as you go?
Yes, that's what people say. And again, I will have to try this. I think you have to have a long enough circular needle to get it around you.
This is true.
So yes, so that's true. And I guess if you wanted to make it longer, it's once you've got the yoke down, then it's fine.
Those are amazing 5 trends that are happening, and they're, like you said, they don't really go away.
Right.
They just have it. And when she came in,
I
she noticed the crochet.
Yes. Crochet is all over the place.
Just
It's everything and everything. And it used to be that crochet was just for granny square blankets.
Yeah.
You can crochet with anything. Before it was just, you crocheted with acrylic or wool and that's it. But you can crochet with, blends and cashmere and whatever.
It's bags. You really
yes,
can do everything.
Yes, you can. So crochet is big, and also we've done in Vogue Knitting several, like you mix crochet and knit. So we had a lovely yoke sweater with the yoke and the sleeve cuffs were crochet and the body was knit. So you can do the mixed media is also a very, very big deal.
I actually, and now I'm also going to throw hat not hate in here.
I'm glad you did.
A little throw
I'm glad you did.
Actually, my hat for 2020 is a mix of knit and crochet.
Oh, fantastic.
Which is really cool when we were talking about the design, because I really want everyone to be represented, and they were like, well, we can do a hat with knit and crochet, and I was like, literally, my mind blew.
Yes, it's excellent.
Yeah, so I'm really excited about that. Speaking of hat not hate,
yes,
we not only went to lunch a few months ago in the city, we also chit-chatted, because this girl here was on Knitterviews. Okay.
Yes, you are.
Tell us about Knitterviews.
Knitterviews is a Vogue knitting podcast, and Trisha Malcolm started it, and I am continuing it, and I interview people from the industry, and I had the honor of interviewing Shira.
It was really fun.
And it was really so much fun.
It was really cool. And we talked kind of towards the end of Hat Not Hate 2019. So I don't even know that I had my final count in yet.
Not at all, no.
Yeah, it was just we're doing it in 2020, all this stuff. But it was really cool to talk to you and be a part of that.
Yes.
So how often do they come out?
They come out, I think we do 24 in a year, so every 2 weeks.
Oh, okay, cool. So
the
Tea with Shira kind of schedule.
2,
That's
3
cool.
weeks, yeah.
And is it a conversation with each bird? Is it different?
Everyone is different. It's like us talking now. It's a casual fun, and you find that everyone has a little bit different story.
I love that.
How they learned to knit, how they got into the business, what they, it's
and
amazing.
what their story is.
Yes.
That's so cool.
So it's really exciting.
I love that. And so if you haven't subscribed to that, you must do that. And also specifically just to hear me.
That's right.
Chat about Hat Not Hate.
You are the best.
But Carla, thank you so much for coming. I'm so excited that you came and that we were able to talk about these trends and inform all of our viewers out there what they should be making for 2020.
Yes.
And pretty much just whatever you make, just hold on to it, put it in a Ziploc after 2020, and then take it out in like, 2040, and it will be on trend. There you go.
That's right. Right.
Got to do a little cheers.
Cheers.
Cheers to Vogue knitting and to crafting and to just being on trend.
Yes.
If you'd like to follow Vogue Knitting, you can follow them here. And remember to give a big thumbs up to this video. And if you haven't already, subscribe. Carla, so you have a question for everybody. What would you like to know?
Yes, I want to know, do you follow the trends? Do you make things that are trendy? That's what I want to know.
Do I make things that are trendy?
No.
I don't. Well, we'll find out.
Okay.
I guess we'll see you soon.
Okay.
Bye, everyone.
Thank you. You and I have to do it one of these days. Well, if you challenge me, I'm really good. If you say, I can make one before you can,
I don't know. I think you will win.
Okay. All right, darn. Okay, I'm not getting it.